The moment my marriage truly ended wasn't when my husband found out about the affair. It wasn't when he saw the messages. It wasn't when he realized I'd been lying. It was when my 5-year-old son stood in the hallway wearing dinosaur pajamas, looked past his own father, and asked another man, "Will you tuck me in tonight?" The silence that followed lasted only a few seconds, but it has stayed with me ever since. My name is Rachel. My husband's name was Adam. The man I almost destroyed my family for was Luke. Luke and I met at my gym. He was one of the trainers. Friendly, funny, the kind of person who made everyone feel noticed. At first, he was simply someone I'd chat with after workouts. Then we started getting coffee, then lunch. Eventually, everything I had promised would never happen did. Adam worked long hours. He managed a construction company and often left before sunrise. He'd come home exhausted, eat dinner, kiss our son Ethan goodnight, and fall asleep on the couch before making it upstairs. I convinced myself we had grown apart. Instead of fixing it, I looked somewhere else. Luke never wanted to replace Adam. At least that's what we both claimed. We had rules. We'd only see each other when Adam was traveling. Never overnight, never around Ethan, never inside our home. Those rules lasted about 3 months. One rainy afternoon, daycare called. Ethan had a fever. I was 2 hours away at a work conference. Adam was managing an emergency job site nearly 90 minutes away. Luke happened to be 15 minutes from the daycare. I called him. He picked Ethan up. He brought him home. He stayed until I arrived. It felt harmless. Responsible, even. So Adam thanked whoever had helped without asking many questions. I simply said, "A friend." That should have been the only time. Instead, it became easier the second time. When traffic trapped me across town, when Adam was delayed, when daycare closed early, when Ethan forgot his backpack. Luke always seemed available. Children don't judge adults the way adults judge each other. They judge consistency. Who shows up, who remembers, who listens. Luke did all three. He learned Ethan hated peas. He learned his favorite cartoon. He learned that Ethan insisted on the blue cup instead of the green one. Little things, tiny things, the kind of things that seem insignificant until someone else notices them. Every time Luke visited, I told myself it wasn't hurting anyone. He'd play dinosaurs, build pillow forts, color superheroes. Then he'd leave before Adam got home. Simple, controlled, safe, or so I believed. One Friday afternoon, Adam called. I wrapped up early. My stomach dropped. Luke was already at the house, helping Ethan build a cardboard spaceship in the living room. I called. No answer. Again. Nothing. Luke had left his phone in the kitchen. By the time I pulled into the driveway, Adam's truck was already there. I walked inside. The house was strangely quiet. No yelling, no arguments. Just laughter. Real laughter. I followed the sound to the living room. Luke sat cross-legged on the floor. Wearing a paper astronaut helmet Ethan had taped together. Ethan laughed so hard he could barely breathe. Adam stood in the doorway watching. No one had noticed me yet. Then Ethan looked up. "Mom." He ran over and hugged me. Then he pointed toward Luke. "Luke's an alien." He giggled. Adam smiled politely. "So this is Luke." Nobody answered. Luke stood, offered his hand. Adam shook it, firmly, calmly, almost pleasantly. For a moment, I actually believed everything might somehow be okay. Then bedtime came. Adam carried Ethan upstairs. Luke grabbed his jacket. "I should go." I nodded too quickly. "Yeah, probably." Before Luke reached the front door, a little voice echoed from upstairs. "Mom." I forgot. We all looked up. Tiny footsteps hurried toward the stairs. Ethan appeared at the top landing, clutching his stuffed dinosaur. His sleepy eyes found Luke immediately. Luke, will you tuck me in tonight? No one moved. Ethan smiled, completely unaware of what he'd just done. You tell the dragon story better? The air disappeared from the room. Adam slowly looked at me, then at Luke, then back to Ethan. You usually tucks him in? He asked quietly. Luke didn't answer. Neither did I, because the answer was written all over Ethan's face. He wasn't making a strange request. He was asking for something familiar, routine, comforting. Adam knelt until he was eye level with our son. I can tuck you in tonight, buddy. Ethan frowned. But Luke does the dragon voice. Another knife, without anyone raising their voice. Adam smiled. Not because he was happy, because he was trying very hard not to fall apart in front of his son. I'll try my best. Ethan shrugged. Okay. Then disappeared back into his bedroom. Luke whispered, I'm so sorry. Adam looked at him for a long time. I don't think you understand what just happened. Luke lowered his eyes. My son didn't ask if you could tuck him in. He assumed you would. Nobody spoke. He thinks that's normal. I finally began crying. I'm sorry. Adam nodded. I know. Then he said something I'll never forget. I've spent months wondering if I was losing my wife. He looked toward Ethan's room. I didn't realize I was losing bedtime too. Luke quietly opened the front door. This time, he didn't say goodbye. He simply left. Adam tucked Ethan into bed alone. I listened from the hallway. He stumbled through the dragon story. Forgot different voices, mixed up characters. Ethan gently corrected him. No, Daddy. The dragon whispers here. Adam laughed softly. I forgot. It's okay. That sentence hurt almost as much as everything else. When Adam came downstairs, he already had a folder waiting on the dining room table. Divorce papers. You already knew? I asked. He nodded. About 6 months. Why didn't you say anything? I kept hoping you'd remember who this family belonged to. I buried my face in my hands. I was going to end it. He sighed. Maybe. But tonight wasn't about the affair. It wasn't even about him. He looked upstairs. It was about our son believing someone else was part of his bedtime. Another long silence settled over the house. Children don't fake comfort. They don't pretend routines exist. If Ethan expected Luke to tuck him in, then it means Luke had done it enough times that it became part of his world. I couldn't argue. Because every word was true. The divorce was finalized 8 months later. Luke and I didn't survive much longer after that. Without secrecy, there wasn't much left. Today, Ethan is older. He barely remembers Luke. He remembers the cardboard spaceship, the dragon voices, the dinosaur pajamas, pieces of childhood, not the adults who complicated it. Sometimes I wonder if children ever truly forget the people who made them feel safe. Maybe they don't. Maybe those memories simply become stories they can't quite place. As for me, I still think about that night whenever someone says betrayal is about lies. It isn't. Lies can sometimes be repaired. Trust can sometimes be rebuilt. But routines, the quiet rituals that make a family feel like a family, are harder to replace. Because when my son looked past his own father and asked another man to tuck him in, my husband didn't just realize I had broken my vows. He realized someone else had quietly taken a place in our home that should never have needed replacing.